Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So what? How'd you get into theater?
Well, I've kind of always been involved in theater. The first time I watched a real theater show, my brother was in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and we were really involved in a theater when we lived in Knoxville, Tennessee, called the Bijou, which was actually a lot like the Crighton, only it was a lot bigger. And my brother was one of the kids in the show, and I remember watching the lady who played the narrator. Her name was Holly, and I told my mom at 5 years old, I want to be her when I grow up. And so that's kind of how I got into theater. And the next show that they did there, they took groups of kids and put them in different shows. And my first show I was in was Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was the youngest kid in the cast.
Wow.
And I was barely 7 years old. And so I was the youngest kid in the cast, and I got to carry the Fairy Queen's train and everything, and I was a little fairy, and that's kind of how I got into theater, and I've kind of been involved ever since. I've done lots of stuff.
So what is it about theater that attracted you? Is it the costumes? Is it the acting? Is it the music?
Together, both of my parents are musicians, so I've always been surrounded by music, and I've grown up on musicals, and I've just always liked it. I like the whole, you get to be on stage and portray a character, get different costumes, and you can be embarrassed on stage, but get over it, because you get to wear embarrassing costumes, and it's like the only place I wear embarrassing costumes.
But that's okay.
But it's okay on the stage. It's not okay.
No, sure, absolutely. Do you have musical tastes that are different from your parents?
Not really. My parents listen to all the same stuff I do. Like, my mom doesn't like listening to the same stuff as my dad, but I like listening to the same stuff they all listen to. Like, my dad listens to a lot of jazz and classical music, and I absolutely love jazz and classical, and my mom likes Broadway tunes and country music, and I absolutely love that too. So there's only like one or two things I just don't like listening to. I don't really like rap or screamo, but even some of that I listen to because of my brother. So I listen to everything.
Do you play any instruments?
I play piano. I've been playing piano since I was 4 years old.
Do you like, what kind of music do you like to play when you play piano?
More classical music. I don't play as much anymore, because I'm like, I don't really want to work. I don't like reading music.
Well, I can understand that.
It's a pain. I can, but I'll pick different pieces of music out randomly when I feel like playing something. Like, I like playing a lot of soundtrack music, like off of Pride and Prejudice. I can't remember the composer's name, but I love playing music off of that, and just play a lot of different stuff.
When you played piano, did you compose any?
No, I don't compose, but my dad does.
Really?
Yes, my dad does. He's actually written like a 30-minute musical based off of Androcles and the Lion for my mom for theater classes that she taught, and I got to play Androcles when he did that. So he does it, I don't. I help him some with lyrics, so sometimes.
Well, you help him with lyrics. Now, how does that work?
I haven't really. We've done it once, and it was like 10. And he was trying to figure out one, and I got one lyric in there, but the rest of the time I can't. That's my brother's genre. My brother's a great lyric, and he composes music all the time. I'm not talented in that area at all.
Well, what do you like to do that's creative that way? So you don't compose. Do you write any?
I have a diary. Yeah? I have a diary, and I do like writing when I feel like it, but I'm really into art. Okay. I like painting and drawing, and I'm really into photography, so...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so...
What is about, because photography certainly has changed over the years.
Oh, yes.
What do you do in photography that you enjoy doing?
I just really like capturing moments of, chaos, and, I love bringing my camera to the theater with me, running around. Well, I call it chaos during Tech Week when everyone's, running around. I like to take everyone's picture and, walk up to them and just, snap it in their face. And I just really like getting portraits and a lot of landscape photography. I just like all aspects of it, so it's very fun.
Interesting. So what do you do with these pictures?
I edit them. I've already got professional editing software.
Yes.
And because I'm wanting to go to school for it, and I want to start my own business with it.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. So back to theater. What got you into Annie Get Your Gun?
It has been my dream role since I was 7 years old.
Really?
It's been my favorite show. I remember the first time I watched it, I was about 5 or 6, and I just thought it was so funny. And so I walked around for about 3 months after that just singing Annie Get Your Gun. And I've loved it ever since. I've known this movie since I was 6 or 7 years old. And so I've really always enjoyed the show. And I found the Broadway soundtrack when I was about 12. And so I've been listening to the music and reading up on Annie Oakley since I was 7. She's always been one of my favorite historical characters in real life, too. So this is, my dream role.
That's your dream?
So it is my dream, so.
What is it about Annie that's similar to you? Or not?
There are so many things that are similar. She is not proper, especially the stage version, and I am not proper a lot. I'm very much a tomboy. And so is she. So like all the girls like in the scene where they're like long white gloves. I'm like, what is this? I don't understand that. She is kind of awkward around guys, and I guess I am, like, if I'm trying to be romantic with a guy, I guess I'm kind of awkward, but the rest of the time I just hang out with them. I'm more of like, you're just my friend. This is weird. Don't do that. So she's not very proper, and she's much of a tomboy, and she really takes care of her siblings, and I really like to take care of people, so the way she takes care of others, I do that a lot too, so there's... And her twang, I kind of have a twang sometimes. Certain words I have a certain twang on, so she's country girl. I like that. So I'm a lot like that.
What shows would you like to do that you haven't done yet?
Oh, man, there's so many. Oh, there's a play.
We have a guest.
Hello. I would love to do Phantom of the Opera. I love the music and everything in that. I'd also love to do Joseph. I've actually never been in Joseph. I've had the opportunity... three times to do it, and I've never done it.
Why?
Because when CYT actually did it, I was in Woodland CYT, and we were doing Sound of Music.
Right.
And I had always wanted to do Sound of Music, too, so it was like a really hard decision, so I did Sound of Music, and I regret that. I wish I would have done Joseph instead, because I love both of them, but I've also always wanted to be in Thoroughly Modern Millie.
That's an awesome show.
It's a great show.
I saw that 3 times with Sutton Foster.
Oh, she is my favorite.
Oh, she is coming to Galveston. She already hadn't come to Galveston.
Yeah, I was going to go see her, but
Oh,
I
she's
didn't.
awesome. I've seen her just about everything she's done on Broadway.
I love everything she does.
And the only reason for that is that we go to see it first to see if it's okay to see. And, oh, yeah, it's fine. So then I bring my son. Once he sees it, he doesn't want to see anything else. So it's like, we're going to see Thoroughly Modern Millie again? We've seen
Who cares? It's Sutton Foster!
Yeah, Sutton Foster and someone else, Sutton Foster and her boyfriend, and we were groupies. We stood outside, we waited, and she didn't come. We saw everyone in the cast but her.
I've always wanted to meet her.
Oh my goodness! Oh, it's awesome. We saw her in Anything Goes. We saw,
Good show.
We saw her in Drowsy Chaperone, which we're doing next.
Yeah,
yes,
I've heard Drowsy Chaperone.
Absolutely. Oh man, not many people like, but it's
My parents have
90
seen
minutes
that.
of laughing.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. It's just incredible. She was, of course, in that. Got to do Show Off and things
I love
like
her
that.
in Little Women. That's one of my favorites that
Yeah.
she's been in. I've never actually seen her in it, but I've watched every YouTube clip I can find, and I've listened to the soundtrack 1,000 times.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, no, she's awesome. She's now doing was it Bunheads?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
It started out kind of lame. I think the writing's getting better now. Because we're all Sutton Foster fans. We want to watch it, and we watch it. And
It's like,
this is terrible. She
That's
didn't
what
get
I've
to
heard.
because it got better. It didn't get to. I guess the early writing didn't highlight her comedy, her comedic
She's
skills,
hilarious.
and I think the writing's getting better. Maybe she has something to do with it. It's like
This needs to be better.
fix this
right now. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I hope you do get to do 300 Millie sometime
Thank
because
you.
that is awesome. Need a lot of dancers for that.
Yeah.
What do you want to do when you go to college?
I want to go into studio art and get my emphasis in photography. I would get like an overview of art. I'd be taking art classes and ceramics, sculpting, photography classes, and I also want to get my teaching degree at the same time. I'd love to be a teacher. So
Absolutely.
that's what I want to do.
Who was your favorite teacher?
My mom. I'm homeschooled.
You're homeschooled.
I'm homeschooled, but I'm doing dual credit at the college already, so
Right.
by the time I graduate in June, I'll have a year worth done of college, and my mom's been my favorite teacher because I've had her the most, but I've
Right.
had other people because we have a co-op at our home,
Right.
so I have like 3 other teachers all the time, but
Good.
my mom has been my main favorite teacher.
Well, it's good. It's nice that you can have a parent as a role model.
Yes.
Whether it's not just teacher or whatever. I asked a long time ago friends of mine who had teens. And this was long before we had kids. And I said, "What is the secret to the really getting past the teen years? You have to live through it, but as a parent." And their key thing was be close to them, close in the sense of do stuff with them and things like that. So whether your parents, which are obviously doing stuff here, at theater, or whatever that may be that you enjoy doing together, sports, which we didn't get to talk about. Yeah, that's
Right, we
right. What
haven't.
sports do you get into? Yeah.
I'm really into basketball. I played basketball with our homeschool team for 6 years.
Yes.
And I played like defense. I was our main defensive player. I'd get on the floor and just grab the ball and toss it across the room. That's what I did. I did Taekwondo for 7 years.
Right.
And I got all the way to 3rd degree black belt. And I was also teaching Taekwondo
Right.
when I was 13. So.
Wow.
And I was the third junior sparrer in the nation for our Association of Taekwondo. So
You keep up with it? Or?
I have a few friends that are still in it that
Yeah.
I go and watch tournaments and stuff, and I'm
Sure.
like, I used to spar that person. I don't anymore because I just stopped because I wanted to get
Yeah.
to play basketball more, and
Sure.
also I was just kind of getting bored because I was at a point where I had to wait till I was 18 to get to the next level. Fourth degree, like used to, you had to be like 18 to get it
Right.
because you had to be more of an adult, but now it's like 16, so I'm like, oh
Ah.
well. Oh well. So that's why I started playing basketball, and then I stopped playing basketball because I found CYT, and so it just moved from one thing to another.
There's a great opportunity to educate, to touch people's lives, but also, especially with CYT, but with some other theater groups too, there has to be this faith component. Can you talk a little bit about the faith component that kind of wraps into the theater?
I am very conservative. I don't wear things past my kneecaps personally because I'm uncomfortable, and I wear like short sleeves all the time. I don't like that, and that was the thing that really pulled me into CYT, that they're like, we have a
Right.
dress code.
Right.
You won't wear anything above here or there, and I was like, oh, that's great, and I will not use any like cuss words or anything.
Right.
That is not in my vocabulary. I don't even use euphemisms
Yes.
at all.
Yeah.
Like, so that was another thing that really pulled me into it. I was like, wow, this is a lot different, and everyone here is a lot more moral and very conservative like I am, so it was a lot easier to make friends that are like not a bad influence on me.
Sure.
So that's a lot of the thing that faithfulness, like that came into the key thing for CYT with me. I was like, wow, everyone here is more like I am. We're like, no, that's not right.
Well, it's a nice family atmosphere.
Yes,
you know?
like everyone
Absolutely.
becomes a family in our cast, and
Yes.
we all hold each other up and support each other, and like we have Bible studies and worship time, and it's really nice.
That's excellent. Which leads us to our question. If heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly
Well
gates?
done and good and faithful servant.
You know what? I haven't seen you in Thoroughly Modern Million yet. It's time for you to do that show up here. Come on.
We'll see. We'll see.
Thanks, Rachel, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.